Here's a story from the Daily Mail. It's from several days ago that somehow we haven't talked about yet, and I want to mention it because, of course, it's very relevant to the news this week. It says, pediatricians across America are at war with their own professional body over controversial puberty-blocking drugs routinely handed to teens wanting to change gender. The top child health experts accuse the American Academy of Pediatrics of pushing the harmful drugs on transgender-identifying youngsters, according to damning leaked documents. Disturbingly, the documents also reveal experts believe that the APP, or that's actually the AAP, is deliberately silencing internal criticism by blocking moves for a crucial policy review. The papers leaked by a whistleblower expose how rank-and-file AAP members across the U.S. are slamming the Academy's shoddy drugs and hormones first approach to trans-identifying teens. They insist that many would benefit from counseling or therapy instead. Oh, you think? And urge the professional body to follow a more cautious approach currently being adopted by similar bodies in other countries. Fast-tracking adolescents into powerful drug cocktails takes a huge toll on young bodies and can lead to sterility and osteoporosis, according to critics. For many teens, transitioning is celebrated, but others regret the treatment and seek reversals. The AAP, for its part, says that its guidelines to reinforce the gender a youth selects, including through drugs, cross-sex hormones, and eventually surgery, are evidence-based and that it's open to collaborative conversations on policy. But angry AAP members say the Academy changed its rules to block a member-drafted resolution to launch a policy review. And by the way, just a side note here, the AAP says that its guidelines are evidence-based. That's completely false. There's really no evidence to support any of this stuff. And that actually was in, I kind of whittled down the clip that we played of Dr. Montano that we played at the start of the show. That's, like I said, it's a 20-minute interview, and it's worth going to YouTube until it's taken down, until they delete it. It's probably already deleted, but if you can watch the whole thing, you should do that. Because there's another interesting point in that interview when he's asked about sort of like long-term studies related to, giving kids these kinds of drugs, puberty blockers, and then comparing that to kids who have gender dysphoria but are not given the drugs. And like long-term, if you compare the two groups, what do the studies say? And he admits in the interview that there aren't any studies. We don't have any studies on that. Which of course we don't, because we've never been doing this to kids before. Certainly not on this scale or anything close to this scale. So no, there's no evidence. There are no long-term studies to validate or vindicate or most of the things that we're doing here, or any of them. So evidence-based is a total lie. Now, the reason why the AAP, the American Academy of Pediatrics, has adopted this approach and endorsed it, the reason why it's all politics, it's all ideology all the way down. They are told by WPATH, which is the big transgender health association in the world, and WPATH just tells everyone what the guidelines are for dealing with trans kids, and then all of the other medical institutions and organizations dutifully follow suit without questioning it, without asking any questions or anything. And as we see here from these whistleblowers, if anyone within the organizations does ask questions or raise concerns or raise any red flags, they're silenced. As the Daily Mail says, angry AAP members say the Academy changed its rules to block a member-drafted resolution to launch a policy review. It led to the review being sidelined at the Academy's leadership conference, which ended in Chicago on Monday. Instead, members took the unusual step of airing their concerns in the comment section for a separate resolution in the AAP's member-only website. In the comments leaked to dailymail.com, AAP members said the Academy was endorsing great harm, that its care package for trans-identifying teens was based on scant and shoddy evidence, and that doling out drugs and hormones was unsafe and unsustainable. One pediatrician wrote, before promulgating gender-affirming care with all of its ethical complications, irreversible bodily changes, sterility, etc., don't we want to be sure that this is the best path? Another member said that there was no good long-term outcome data for those who undergo the arduous physical process of transitioning, and pointed to the 37,000 members of an online forum for regretful detransitioners, as they are known. You know, our friends over at Good Ranchers are on a mission to donate 100,000 high-quality meals this month to children in need. You can help them reach their goal by ordering your next box at goodranchers.com/Matt. For every box ordered through August 31st, Good Ranchers will donate a nutritious meal to a child in need. You can help these guys reach their goal and get $30 off plus free shipping at goodranchers.com/Matt. Now, it's good that these whistleblowers are coming out and criticizing. But it's not nearly enough. Okay, to do it anonymously is not nearly enough. And I understand. You know, if you're a pediatrician and you come out against the AAP publicly and you do so on the trans stuff, you're putting your career on the line. Career you've worked hard for, spent a lot of time in school, spent a lot of money on student loans. To put that on the line, that takes a lot of courage. There's no understating the amount of courage it takes to put your entire career on the line. But that is what's required. Okay, so if you're a pediatrician, and I hear from pediatricians all the time, actually. Again, never wanting to go on the record, but they'll message me privately and say, hey, I agree with everything you say on this stuff. Keep saying it. So I know that there are some listening to me right now, and what I want to say to you is that it is not good enough to be anonymous. You have a responsibility to speak up publicly and put your name on it. And if you want to do that and you want a platform, if you're ready and willing to come out publicly and speak out against this stuff, especially if you're a member of the American Academy of Pediatrics, and you're ready to do the right thing with your name on it, then reach out to me. I'll make sure that your concerns are heard. Because when you voice them anonymously on message boards and in comment sections, and you send private emails to conservative podcasters, that doesn't do anything. I mean, you're the first line of defense. You're the people that we need. Because I can sit here all day and forever, which I will, speaking out against this stuff. But what I'm always going to run into is the claim that, oh, you're not a doctor, you're not an expert. Which, of course, is irrelevant. You don't need to be a doctor or an expert to know that you shouldn't mutilate and castrate children. All you need is common sense and a soul, which is something sorely lacking on the left, which explains how we got here. But whether it should or not, the expertise and all that, it does matter to people. So it would be a lot more powerful. I mean, there should be press conferences with whole groups of pediatricians speaking out against this, answering questions, explaining their position, talking about what's going on behind the scenes. And until that happens, this isn't going to get any better. Well, if you enjoyed that video, be sure to hit the subscribe button and ring the bell to get more content like it. If you're craving more content, go watch or listen to my full show at dailywire.com, Spotify, or wherever you get your podcasts.